Today we're going to discuss the center axis relock position. It is a unique and advanced shooting technique that was created by Paul Castle, and since his passing, Jeff Johnsgaard has taken the reins on educating different police and law enforcement agencies and military units around the country and in other countries as well. This C.A.R system is not meant to replace your traditional shooting positions. It's supposed to be another tool in your toolbox that you can use should that situation arise where this technique will be more beneficial than a traditional shooting position. A lot of people have seen this in movies, mainly in John Wick. It is not done 100% correctly in the John Wick movie, so we just wanted to come on here and show you guys that not everything you see on Hollywood is true. Some of it might be. Not all of it is, of course, and you know that. And B, the proper way to use this technique and to make you realize that it is very, very useful once you understand how to use it. The only two main positions we're going to talk about within the C.A.R system is going to be the high center position and the extended/combat position. We're not going to go into all the other ones. If not, this video would be extremely long. So real quick, let's start off with where our hands should be positioned and which eyes we're going to use. So we have a pistol here, clear. For our traditional shooting grip, this is what we're used to. Full extension, thumb over thumb technique. Nothing wrong with that. Again, the C.A.R system's not meant to replace this. What we're going to do for the C.A.R grip is we're going to grab our support hand, and I am right hand dominant and right eye dominant. So in this case right now, since I'm holding the pistol in my right hand, I'm going to grab my left and I'm going to slide it around. Let me show you. I'm going to slide it around the back side of my shooting hand, right behind the knuckles. And what I'm going to do now on this side is lock my thumbs. I'm going to join my thumbs right there. So that's what it's going to be like. I'm going to get into the whole eye situation in just a bit when we get into the extended position. So right now we are going to go into the high center. So high center would be right here. The pistol is at the chest height, parallel to your shoulders. And notice that my wrist is locked. I'll step back a little bit. Wrist is locked, arm is straight. So when that gun recoils, I have the best control possible. We do not want to be like this or like this. This is just not as controllable, and we do not want to angle that muzzle in a direction that we're not supposed to be angling it at, right? So right there, and notice how the pistol is not right up against my chest here. By doing so, the slide can hit our chest or get caught on our shirt, inducing a malfunction or possibly causing a safety hazard because that slide can get us cut. So from the front, it will be here. And notice how my left elbow is not chicken winging out because I do not want this elbow to cross my muzzle. I do not want to shoot myself. So there you have it from the side. And this is supposed to be used if the threat is extremely close to me. I'm talking about arm's length reach for someone who doesn't know how to use this technique at greater distances. And what I mean by greater distances, I'm talking about no more than maybe 5 yards. That would be pushing the limits of this position here. So I'm talking about someone's right on top of you where you can't get an extension or a semi-extension. So we're gonna draw the pistol and take care of business here. By simply keeping our wrist locked and our arm straight, we can use our elbow to move with the muzzle, right? We're gonna try to keep it all the same, like it's all on one straight and locked shaft, if you will, right? So when the elbow rotates, the gun would rotate. So if I have to shoot at someone's chest, I could do so here. So I'm looking at my threat. I'm bladed to him or her. I can engage here. I can engage here. So notice how my wrist does not bend. The wrist shouldn't bend, and this elbow does not fly up like a chicken wing, so we don't injure ourselves. Now let's talk about the extended or combat position. So for the extended/combat position, we're still going to keep our C.A.R grip. So our hands are still going to be in that same position that we were from when we shot from here, right? The only difference here is now we are going to bring the gun up and around. Our wrists, I'll show you from this side, our wrist stays locked to keep our arm straight to help with that recoil. And if you notice, you from that angle cannot see my right eye. You can only see my left eye, and you can see my gun. So right now I am picking up my sight system with my non-dominant eye, and I can do so very naturally. Why? Because I am obstructing the vision so that my right eye cannot see on this side of my arm. So by doing this, I don't get that double vision. So if I tried to use my non-dominant eye in my traditional shooting position, I would have to either close my dominant eye and then move my head, or bring the gun to line up with my non-dominant eye, or I would struggle big time trying to do it with both eyes open. So there I was able to find it, but I get a lot of double vision because my left eye is not my dominant eye. And very naturally, my right eye wants to pick up the sight system. So with the C.A.R system, by bringing the gun up and around, I'm obstructing that view that my right eye, my dominant eye, would have. And I can very naturally and very quickly pick up my sight system. And if I have to switch hands, so now I'm going to shoot lefty. Again, my target's this way. I'm always bladed to my threat in the C.A.R position. I bring the gun around, and the same thing applies, but backwards. So now my dominant eye, which is my right eye, is the one I'm picking up the sight with. Again, my arm is straight and my wrist is locked. So it sounds pretty backwards, right? We're always taught always use your dominant eye when aiming a pistol. That's what we learned in basic pistol shooting. However, when you're learning this advanced technique, that is not always going to be the case. If you're shooting with your left hand, you will use your right eye. And if you're shooting with the right hand, you will use your left eye to very naturally pick up the sight. And we are going to show you how this works at the range. You can see how effective it is and how quickly we can get a shot on target using both hands and both eyes. So it will not take you a long time to pick up that sight system, whether you're using irons or an optic, with either one of your eyes. Think about it this way. When you're shooting a shotgun or a rifle or any long gun with a stock. So for me, again, I'm right-handed, right eye dominant. And if I were to shoot a rifle left-handed and left-eyed, as long as I get that proper cheek weld, that natural aiming area, natural point of aim, I'm going to very easily, and it'll be very natural to pick up that sight. It'll just appear every time as long as I'm doing the position the way it's supposed to be performed. So benefits to this, right? Because right now this looks like something out of a circus to most people, because this technique is used mainly for law enforcement and not even, you know, regular patrolmen. This is used by SWAT officers, special operations, other type of high-end specialized military and law enforcement groups. So yes, it's going to look extremely different than what you're used to, but as goofy as you might think it looks, it's very, very practical. So let's get into some of this practical stuff. When you're in the C.A.R grip, if I have to engage someone who's directly behind me for whatever reason, and I don't have the time to turn around and go to full extension, I can draw the pistol, get into my C.A.R grip, and right there, I just turned 180 degrees. I can see no problem. I could actually go further than that, and I'm not moving my feet. And try to get my feet in the shot here, right? So I can engage the threat in the front, and then switch to C.A.R position. And now I can engage everywhere back here, all the way back there, all the way to here. And if I have to switch sides, switch hands, no problem. Now I'm using my other eye, and the same thing applies. I can come all the way back without a worry in the world. So if I were seated in a chair or in a vehicle, that gives me extreme mobility without having to move my lower body. I don't have to take any steps. I don't have to get out of my chair, and I can shoot behind me. So it's a very useful technique. Also when you're clearing rooms, so if you're in law enforcement, you're clearing a hotel, could be a shopping mall, it could be anyone in any scenario. When you're clearing places, this is also going to be very beneficial. It keeps you compact, keeps the gun close to you, keeps you from losing your sight system. You can see that sight system very, very well. So right now, again, I'm using my left eye to pick up my sight system, and I can use my right eye, which sees everything on this side of my arm, through my peripherals. So I'm still extremely aware of what's going on around me. So very, very useful technique. You could also, while on the move, take shots while you're moving, and if a threat comes back, you can still move in the direction you need to, shoot backwards, and use the peripheral of the eye that you're not using to aim to guide you forward. This again is meant for very close encounters. For anything further out, I would definitely always use my normal shooting techniques or stances. So again, the CAR is just another tool in the tool shed for you. It's not meant to replace your existing and traditional shooting techniques. Again, it's very advanced. Don't recommend you try this unless you are a very skilled pistol shooter in your traditional stances. And should you choose to try this, don't just watch videos and then go try it on your own. Pay someone who knows how to do this to train you, to do it the right way, dry fire, do it hundreds of times before you're loading up a gun and doing it, especially when you're doing the high center. You do not want to get injured, especially when you're shooting with your left hand. Those cases do come back, and you have to be mindful of that. Also, don't try this from a vehicle. I am going to show you how it works from a vehicle, but you should try this only under professional and supervised instruction. So now let's go check out some of the live ammo footage so you can see that everything I've just showed you actually works, and it's very beneficial. Again, it's going to be here, right? We're aimed at our target. We're at a bladed position. We got a nice locked wrist to keep our arms straight, and we're going to engage. So we just shot from here. Now we are going to remain bladed, keeping our CAR grip, wrist locked. We're going to come up and around. Now we're using our non-dominant eye to aim, and again. We're going to see how the CAR system is useful in a vehicle, should you have to shoot from one. We're going to take consideration here when we're drawing our firearm, especially if we're carrying appendix. That's where our gun's at. We're going to open up our legs to make sure we don't sweep or flag our legs. If you're carrying on the hip, make sure we roll over our legs so that that gun comes out without sweeping our legs. So for us, appendix, open the legs, clear that cover garment. Okay. Now, if we go to full extension, which is our normal grip here that we're used to shooting with, I can shoot out my window this way, and now I feel a lot of tension. I feel tension here in my right breast, right? And I feel it in my hips. I can't turn that far. And as far as I can turn, it's very uncomfortable. I can't really get a full extension this way either. This is as far as I can go. I mean, I'm crashing into the seat. I feel a lot of tension. So now let's look at how much angle I get and gain from using the CAR system. So again, CAR system, roll this hand around, right? Get these fingers to that knuckle area or just behind the knuckles, locking our thumbs. And now I'm going to bring the gun across. I'm going to look out to my left where my targets are at. We were about 35 and 40 yards. Now we're maybe a few, say 8 yards past that because our car is further away. So we're going to come across. Now I see the optic with my with my left eye. Very naturally, it's right there. I picked it up immediately. It's almost like when you're shooting a rifle offhand. If you're right eye dominant, right-handed, and you put a rifle and you have a proper cheek weld, very naturally your non-dominant eye will line up with the optic. So here we go. We're in the CAR system here. I see it with my left eye. Let's look at the mobility difference. I can shoot from here comfortably, no pinch points or pressure points anywhere. I'm very comfortable still, all the way. I can't get quite to a 180. But I can get pretty damn far. And if I had to go this way, all I would do is transition the pistol to the other hand, come across, and I got all of this angle here. Look at that. I could even shoot one full 180 degrees, a full 180 around, right? And now my right eye is the one that's lined up with my target. And once I get here, transition. And now let's see if I can hit one of these targets. Let's go for the closer one. All right, that's a far shot for this system. Let's go for the further one. 40 yards, 45 maybe now. Those targets are small. There it is. All right, let's go for this other close one. different angles. I'm showing you how I can easily, very comfortably look through or work through those angles. That's a really small plate there. We can go out to a 60-yard plate, 8-inch plate at 60 yards. Yep. So mag change. That 60-yard plate, that's not what this is for, by the way, so I don't want to waste too much time in the video, but let's try it just to prove a point that it works. Got it, right? So the C.A.R system, center access relock, is very beneficial when you're up close. Again, unfortunately, I only have steel targets set up, and I have them further down range. So if I can engage those targets at that distance, you can definitely know this is going to work up close. This is if someone's right up in your face right here, and someone comes around, you can still track that optic, right? Transition, and you're good over here, using your other eye at this point, all the way to the back of your car, and I don't feel any discomfort doing this. Versus me going to full extension, I can only get to here. Do not try this unless you dry fire it first and practice a lot under supervised instruction. Do not try it in a vehicle. Always try it outside first, dry fire, and slowly work your skills upward. Again, center access relock, meant for close quarter engagements. We hope this helps you out.